Early one winter morning, Thomas the tank engine puffed sleepily into the yards. As he came to a stop, he shivered suddenly. A cold wind had begun to blow. The clouds hung low and dark in the sky. His driver shivered too and frowned. "Looks like we'll have to get out your snowplow today, Thomas," he said. Thomas was furious. He hated his snowplow. "Please, sir," he pleaded, "can't we wait until the snow arrives? You know how much I hate wearing my plow." "Fine," agreed his driver, "but we should at least make sure it still fits. After all the banging around you did it last time, I'm sure it will need some adjustments." As Thomas's snowplow was fitted, he looked down at it angrily. "Horrid, awkward thing," he mumbled. Just then, James chuffed into the yards. He chuckled when he saw Thomas. "Oh, Thomas," he hooted, "I know you're excited to wear your new plow, but maybe you should wait for the snow." "Oh, be quiet," snapped Thomas. "You'll probably have to wear one too, you know." "Pah!" James snorted. "I'm much bigger and stronger than you. I doubt Sir Topham Hatt will even consider making me wear one of those silly things. And even if I do, I certainly won't look as ridiculous as you do." And James left the yards with a huff. Thomas frowned and looked sadly at his driver. "Can you take it off now?" he asked quietly. His driver understood the little blue engine's embarrassment and quickly complied. Later, Thomas was at the quayside, collecting some trucks filled with rock salt to deliver to the stations along his branch line. The incoming snowstorm would make the platforms and roads slippery, and the salt would help melt the ice and prevent accidents. After Thomas had picked up his delivery, he made his way to the first station along his branch line, Dryall. When he arrived, he saw a sad-looking Harold sitting in the airfield hangar. "Hello, Harold," he puffed. "Why so glum?" "Bad weather on the way, chap," Harold replied with a frown. "A blizzard's coming. I've been grounded until further notice. You be careful out there. I'd hate for a little tank engine like you to get stranded out in the snow." "I'm not that little," Thomas grumbled to himself. And as soon as the salt was unloaded, Thomas puffed out of the station. He wanted to finish his deliveries before the blizzard arrived. "That way," Thomas said to himself, "I won't have to wear my snowplow, and then James can't make fun." Before long, Thomas had completed his deliveries and made his way quickly back to the yards. As he arrived, the snow began to fall. "And not a moment too soon," his driver said. "Now I can get back to the nice warm sheds," puffed Thomas with relief. Just then, a worried-looking signalman walked up to them. "I've just received a call from James's driver," he explained. "James has run out of coal on the main line. He was in the middle of pulling a passenger train. Please, can you go and rescue him and his passengers? All the other engines have already taken shelter." "Of course," said Thomas with a sigh. "That silly engine, James. He was probably so busy bragging about not needing a snowplow that he forgot to fill up on coal." Before long, Thomas's snowplow had been fitted. Thomas had not complained once. He knew that the situation was much too serious. The weather had worsened. "We have to hurry," Thomas said nervously. "The snow is already starting to pile up." And with an urgent peep, peep of his whistle, Thomas chuffed bravely out of the yards towards the stranded James. It was very hard going. Thomas had to push away many large snowdrifts. He didn't give up. Finally, Thomas found James. The red engine was white and freezing from the cold. His passengers were most upset with him, but they cheered when they saw Thomas. "You foolish engine," scolded Thomas. "Why did you forget to fill up on coal before you left?" James was too cold to respond. Thomas buffered up to him without another word, and his driver gave the red engine some of Thomas's coal. The two engines puffed together all the way to the station. Topham Hatt was there, waiting for them. First, he scolded James severely for his carelessness, and then turned to thank Thomas. "Chumish, you are a very brave and useful engine. When the snow melts, you shall have a fresh coat of paint." "Oh, sir! Thank you, sir!" Thomas beamed. He now realized that his snowplow could come in handy, even if it was an awkward nuisance.